You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. Smitty is live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
Get on-demand one-on-one text advice with Smitty at thefantasyfootballshow.com.
You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón.
Get on-demand one-on-one text advice with Smitty at thefantasyfootballshow.com.
You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. Smitty is live Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al fantasía fútbol novelas. Espera con el patrón. You are about to enter the fantasy football show. Please stand by like a boss. Estás entrado al
Live from the fantasyfootballshow.com studios. It's the Fantasy Football Show. Live! Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern.
We've got news. Of course, earlier you probably heard Deshaun Watson settled 20 of the 24 lawsuits against him. But there are two potential lawsuits that have still yet to be filed that will be added onto those four that have not yet filed. So those four will probably, according to reports, previous reports, mind you, will turn into 6 cases. So there should be 6 cases against Deshaun Watson that are unsettled. Now, maybe news breaks that those were a part of this or those are not going to get filed. We don't really know, but we're really looking at potentially, I would say, 6 cases that have not settled. And one of which is the original case that kicked all this off. And Tony Busby released this on, well, I don't know where this was released, actually, a statement I think he read, and then Schefter retweeted this part of this statement, and I've got the full statement. Ashley Solis is one of the heroes of the story, says Busby. Her case has not settled, and thus her story and that of the other 3 brave women will continue. So he's not speaking to those other 2 cases. So that's a little bit of a question right now. We don't know if those other 2 are actually going to file because he's not mentioning them here. I look forward to trying these cases in due course, consistent with the docket obligations and the court schedule. So apparently they're moving forward on these, or they're trying to push Watson for a bigger settlement in these 2 cases, or these 4 cases, but in the original case. Tough to say what's going to happen. Look, we could guess, we could speculate, we can act like we know what the heck's going on. Nobody really does. We can break it down the best we can. We can assume what the commissioner and the league are going to recommend to the independent party that is going to then cast down judgment or a recommendation, so to speak. And how this will work is this individual, this ex-judge that has been brought in to make a determination, a disciplinary decision, has been brought in to do it. And so the league's going to recommend a suspension. League's probably going to shoot really high. League's probably going to say, the NFL and Goodell, probably going to say, we want him to be suspended for the entire season. Maybe they ask for more. I don't know how this is going to actually play out in terms of Goodell and the NFL and what they're going to ask for. They're going to ask for probably something really high. Then in anticipation that this independent party, former judge that has taken over this situation in terms of the discipline, they will make a determination. Now here's the crazy part, okay? Because if, in fact, this independent party ends up saying no discipline at all, no discipline at all, then the NFL and Goodell can't do anything. But if the determination is that there's any discipline whatsoever being recommended, and the discipline could be 2 games, 4 games, whatever, Roger Goodell, as long as there's discipline being recommended by this independent party, Roger Goodell could come back in the appeal part of this and overrule everything the independent judge and party is recommending. So it's so strange how it's mapped out. If the judge says no discipline, this independent disciplinary party says no discipline, and the NFL is recommending a year, the NFL and Roger Goodell can do nothing in terms of this situation right here. Now, what's that mean for 4 more cases? What's that mean for new cases that arise? Nobody knows. Everybody can pretend they know. They don't. It's a lot of ambiguity. We don't know what's going to happen. But if this individual, this third party, independent party says, yeah, I recommend 2 games, 4 games, 6 games, 8 games, doesn't matter what the recommendation is, Goodell can come in on an appeal and say, I'm not listening to anything you say. We're going to give him the full year. So it's a weird process. We most certainly believe, I don't care if he's settled or not, the NFL's still going to, this independent party is still going to suspend him or recommend discipline of some kind. Therefore, the NFL is going to get what they want. The NFL wants him out for the year. And you can argue that that's wrong or right or whatever you want, but there are still 4 pending cases against Watson right now. 4's not as big of a number as 24 or 26, right? But it's still 4 cases that hold him back entirely. This doesn't become a lesser situation because there's less people. Any one of these claims, if true, by itself would have him out the year, and maybe not even, maybe not back in the league if the claims were true. We don't know if the claims are true or not. We're not here to cast judgment. That's what the court's for. Innocent until proven guilty. The NFL is here to determine whether the league personal conduct policy was violated. And I believe that we're still going to hear some kind of open-ended, we can revisit the situation if further cases arise, or it goes back to the criminal court on the 2 new potential cases that are going to be filed on top of the 2 other cases that were added to the 22 to make 24. So 20 cases settled, 2 of which of the 4 are new. The other 2 are not. One of them is the original claimant. And then you have these out there in nowhere land, no one's talking about them right now, these 2 other cases that we're supposed to file to make it 6. Let me make a prediction here. And I'm guessing based on all the evidence I've seen, based on talking to our in-house counsel, Tony the Tiger attorney, who comes on the show and breaks his stuff down like a madman. And everything else that I've gathered and read and absorbed, I'm going to say this. I think the NFL says full year, give us a full year and an opportunity to revisit this, whether that needs to be said or not. I believe that this independent party is going to come back with something along the lines of a 6 to 8 game suspension. I think maybe along the lines of something like, innocent, whatever, of this, no proof of this, and this, therefore was the personal conduct. Like, they're going to narrow this thing down, I think, to a much smaller number, but it's going to be discipline. And that discipline is going to allow Roger Goodell to come in. I don't think Roger Goodell is going to ignore the wishes and recommendations entirely of this individual, this former judge brought in to handle the disciplinary action, because that would undermine the process and people would have a big problem with, why did you even bring her in if you're going to just completely ignore her recommendations? But I do think Goodell is going to up the amount, whatever the number is. If she says 6 to 8, he's going to say 10 to 12, whatever. It's still possible he doesn't play the entire season. It is possible she says he's out for the year, and Goodell goes, that's exactly what I thought. Okay, let's do it. But I think it's really, really hard to imagine Watson playing this year. Although it's not crazy when you think about the NFL and how this stuff plays out and how unparalleled everything is. Calvin Ridley is out for the year. Granted, I don't think Calvin Ridley should have been betting on football games. I mean, that was a dumb move. But I'm saying perspective-wise, in terms of drawing parallels, Ridley's out for the year for betting on a sport he wasn't even playing during that time. It's dumb. He shouldn't have did it. But he's out for the year, so there's a baseline to be set and discipline to be talked about. Now you have Deshaun Watson, who's still got 4, even if he settled on 20 cases, and you can take settlement however you want. The NFL used to take settlement as an admission of guilt in some respects. They can't really do that anymore. They can do whatever they want, though. They can think whatever they want and say this is how we think about it. Like, that's what's so funny about this. The NFL wants to do what the NFL wants to do. The NFL is going to do what the NFL wants to do, as long as it's just a bunch of it's just a bunch of dancing around. Like, it's all for public show. They probably already know what they're going to do. Who knows? And I'm not trying to say that this independent party's compromised, but who knows what's really going on? Who knows who's calling who and saying, hey, this is what needs to happen, because we need to make sure we hit this. It's hard to not say all these words that make for awful puns in the situation. It's gonna get ugly. It wouldn't surprise me if the punishment felt nowhere near parallel to what like Ridley's getting or what other owners are getting in similar situations. Now, this situation is different because these people are claiming that assaults happened, not just that it was some shady, massage type of deal. It was more assaults in situations like that. Women crying after they had seen Watson, and him admitting that they cried and left the room crying. Like, there's a lot of evidence here that may not be evidence that could hold him up in a criminal situation, but clear evidence that wrongdoing was done, that Deshaun Watson put the NFL in a bad light, and Deshaun Watson made his own bed, pardon the pun, by going out and potentially, they're saying that there's a number of 66 to 100 of these situations, with only 20 of them now settled and 4 of them now still pursuing civil litigation. So that's where we are on this. Let's hit the news button, and then let's get over to more of the news. We'll touch on this a little more.
And now for the news.
So, let's see here. There's some more information here. I can read this by Busby. And guys, there's a combination of innocence and guilt here. Let's not come in here and act like he's innocent. There are some people that act like this has all been fabricated. They don't look at the details. They haven't looked at the claims. They haven't looked at what Deshaun Watson's admitted doing. They haven't looked at how that violates the personal conduct policy. When somebody comes in here and says, "What crime? What are you gonna?" This is what it's such an aggressive tone. They come in and they go, "Suspended for what? Suspended for what? What crime? How can you suspend someone if there's no crime? How can you suspend somebody if there's no crime?" That's the typical Deshaun Watson defender. It's like, No one's saying innocent till proven guilty shouldn't live in this world and in this country. We all believe that you're innocent till proven guilty. But guys, he's admitted to a lot of these crazy acts and things that have happened. If you think the NFL likes what has been done and approves what has been done and is okay with reaching out and targeting anyone in here that's supporting Deshaun Watson, understand what I'm saying. Innocent till proven guilty with these criminal allegations of assault and such. But if you come in here and you think that Deshaun Watson's... What crime, Smitty? What crime? How can you do anything when he didn't perform a crime, Smitty? If you really think if that's your stance, that's crazy. Because this man targeted, whether you want to admit it or not, targeted 60 to 100 different individuals. Targeted. I'm using the word targeted because he 100% targeted individuals that were on Instagram, all 60 to 100 of them. They don't even know what the real number is. He targeted them because they had either no to little business, never had any real relation or connection to NFL players or athletes, so they were wowed by seeing Deshaun Watson. So there's an uncomfortable, let me speak up, I'm a little uncomfortable factor involved in every single one of these cases. They needed the money. The money was more important to them than a big company. The NFL provides a masseuse, and you have former athletes coming out in droves saying, when you are an athlete, you don't want 100 masseuses. There's absolutely no reason to have 100 masseuses unless you're up to something shady. And that's the bottom line. You can try and argue it all you want. That's logic. That's logic. And if you believe that it was just, okay, he wanted certain situations to occur that were very, very normal in the NFL space, maybe, like whatever you want to argue, that's fine. But the NFL's still not okay with 60 to 100 of these cases showing up, and they're going to do something about it. That's why they're going to recommend probably a year suspension. I'm not saying he's guilty of any of the assault allegations. I'm saying the NFL has every right to be like, what'd you do? Why'd you do this? Why'd you go out and do this? Why did you go out and do this? And the NFL is hypocritical. No one's arguing that. McFact, no one's arguing that. No one's arguing that in this room. The NFL is hypocritical. Everything's it's not paralleled. The suspensions don't line up. Nothing makes sense. But you can be on both sides of this argument. You can be on the side that Watson, I'm sorry, but he targeted individuals to take advantage of the situations. He did. Whether he committed criminal crimes, we don't know. And that's why you're innocent until proven guilty. That's why we are certainly okay with the process playing out before anybody's going to jail or being in situations even remotely close to those situations. Like, of course, innocence until proven guilty. But is there wrongdoing here? Is there irresponsible behavior by Deshaun Watson? 1,000%. This is from BuzzBee. Today, I announced that all cases against Deshaun Watson, with the exception of 4, have settled. We are working through the paperwork related to those settlements. Once we have done so, those particular cases will be dismissed. The terms and amounts of the settlements are confidential. We won't comment further on the settlements of those cases. And then this paragraph here, which we've already kind of touched on. As stated, Ashley Solis is one of the heroes of the story. Her case is not settled, and thus her story and the other 3 brave women will continue. I look forward to trying these cases in due course, consistent with the docket, obligations, and the court schedule. Again, posturing to try and get more in a settlement, we don't know. These are all individual cases. They technically can do whatever they want individually. It's a consolidated attempt and effort by the attorney BuzzBee, and that's that. 4 cases left. We don't know what's going to happen. No one knows what's going to happen. Year-long suspension recommendation, probably likely by the NFL. a little bit lesser recommendation by the independent party and former judge that has been tasked and assigned to hand down a disciplinary recommendation, probably lower recommendation than the NFL. The NFL most certainly is going to shoot high. This individual is probably going to come in lower, and the Commissioner Roger Goodell will appeal, step in, and potentially, because at that point, he has full authority to do whatever he wants. He can even tell the independent party, the former judge who has been tasked to be in charge of the disciplinary recommendation, as long as she recommends any discipline whatsoever, 1 game, 2 games, doesn't matter what it is, Roger Goodell then gets green lighted to be able to do whatever he wants on the appeal. It's a ridiculous process. That's ridiculous. Why have an independent person involved at all if Roger Goodell can just step in if there's discipline at all? So basically, make sure you hand down a disciplinary recommendation of anything. Slap on the wrist, 1 game. If you do, then that green lights me to come in and overrule you. So go ahead and say something. It's ridiculous. The NFL is ridiculous with this. It's either independent or it's not. It's either authority or it's not. And it's just another thing that the NFL has backwards. And yeah, and the other thing about Roger Goodell is, look, there were so many problems that came out. And we got Kenny Powers, we got Macho Taco in here from the YouTube exclusive group. We got Vamp. I appreciate you guys coming in here. My YouTube exclusive group, people in the house representing Silver Rapture in the building. Michael K, CPA, former top super chatter of the show in one single live stream, is in the building. First in the building was Michael K, CPA. Gronk had an amazing career. Yes, he did. Appreciate all of my YouTube exclusive members in here with the green colored and all the extra emojis that they get. We're going to eventually turn this onto subscriber mode at certain points during the year, so that you guys can get your questions in. Smitty, what are you talking bad about the freak? I don't know what you're talking about, David. I don't even know what this means. Talking bad about the freak. Okay. I don't know, David. You tell me. That is the Deshaun Watson news. We don't have any information other than he settled 20 out of the 24 cases, and what is going on with these 2 other cases that were supposed to be filed. We don't even know. We have no clue. No one's given us any information. Thank you, Rob Gronkowski. You have been Smitty approved.
You've just been Smitty approved.
Rob Gronkowski gave us many, many, many years of goodness, and we thank him for it. The Bucs thank him as well. I believe Rob Gronkowski gets a call from Tom Brady mid-season that says, come back, boy. Come home, boy. Come home. Gronk is going to go and miss football. He's going to get in phenomenal shape, just working out, drop some LBs and feel lighter and quicker than ever. He's going to get excited, and he's going to want to return to football. That's my guess. These guys that retire usually come back 1 or 2 times, at least 1. Tom Brady, there's other news here. This is a little bit more outrageous, but I thought I'd post it anyway. Fox analyst, let's see here. It was it Greg Olsen? Yeah, Greg Olsen, Fox Sports analyst. Greg Olsen, former tight end and Carolina Panther, said Tom Brady, I don't think Tom's career is over until he gets 10 Super Bowls. Anything less would be selling himself short. Take that for what you will. 10 Super Bowls. Okay, Greg. You never know. You never know, but okay, Greg. And that is the news. There isn't a ton of news. Let's see here. Brady just retired a month later, came back, and not falling for Gronk retirement either. Exactly, James. He'll be back. Take a lap, Greg Olsen. Brate to the moon. I mean, maybe. I don't know about a moon call shot, but definitely, a guy to keep tabs on now. Definitely. Happy retirement, Gronk. Appreciate you, says official. My voicemail is Watson. I hope it's clean. Is it clean, Silver? You got to keep it clean. What's up, Axe? Appreciate you being here. Big Dog Smitty holding it down. Yes, sir. Yes, sir, Silver. I need to get a laptop so I can sign up, says Brian. There's got to be a way to sign up, bro. If you go to, I got an idea, Brian. Go to thefantasyfootballshow.com, and in the top banner, you'll see my YouTube members button at the very top header of thefantasyfootballshow.com. Click that link and see what happens on mobile. I bet you it might lead you to the right place. Let's go to the voicemails.
It's voicemail time. Drop a voicemail at the Fantasy Football Show on the gram. Tell your grandma.
He'll punch you in the throat.
Alrighty, let's get to the voicemails. Appreciate everybody that always drops them. Let's clear out this topic, and we'll leave that there, and we will fill that out and try and keep this thing organized and clean. First voicemail, I'm going to go up and start off with Silver.
Well, hello. Deshaun Watson's a dirty boy.
That's Silver. Jim.
Hey, Smitty. I have the 9 pick in an upcoming redraft league. And if I decide to go running back with the first pick, like Swift or Mixon, when I come around to the early part of the second round, CeeDee Lamb and Stephon Diggs are sitting right there. If I decide between those two, who would you rather have for this year in redraft?
I draft Diggs at like 13 at the highest. I have yet to make Stephon Diggs a first rounder, I think. Or maybe I have in a mock and I don't remember, but Diggs feels second drafted player material. Doesn't mean he doesn't feel first overall drafted, second drafted player material. He could be the 2.1. But he definitely feels like he's got to be your second drafted player, in my opinion. I mean, it almost doesn't matter when you're at the bookend pick or the 11 and 13 pick, but that's just kind of my way of breaking down where I feel like he belongs, what tier Diggs belongs in. Swifty and CeeDee Lamb, these are guys that go 7, 8, 9, 10. I mean, Lamb doesn't go 7, but Swift goes 7, 8, 9. And then when he falls to round 2, it's a steal. To the moon, Swift.
To the moon.
When it comes to Lamb Chops, I'm fine with him at the turn 2, and I'm fine with him being like 11 or 12. But I don't like Lamb any higher than like 10 or 11 or 12. I don't think I even take Lamb at 10. It's kind of close for me. So Swift at 9. I'd even reach for Javonte at 9 if the pre-rank list looks very bad for Javonte falling to your second pick. But I will say, Jim, my favorite strategy of 2022 from anywhere near this draft slot is this duo right here. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. This duo right here, taking Swift and Javonte. So 12, 13, 12, the 1.12 and the 2.1, 11 and 13. These are my, or 11 and 14. These are my favorite two players to couple together coming out of the end of round 1 and the top of round 2. There's no better start in my opinion than Swift and Javonte. And that almost goes for whoever gets JT. Like, you couple JT with a player at 2.12. Now, granted, there are exceptions. If the right player fell, Javonte could fall. If the right player fell to 2.12, 24 overall, I think you could easily, beat Swift and Javonte. But in general, if it's Mike Evans that's falling, you're getting sniped left and right. If you're landing that 2.12 pick can be tricky because sometimes we're sitting there and we're like, I don't even know who to go. Kelsey just goes. He's a decent pick there. Josh Allen and Kelsey are kind of and I know a lot of people don't like early quarterback, but Josh Allen and Kelsey are pretty awesome 24 and 25 overall players if you have, go ahead and hit that for me, mods. If you have JT in the 1.1. I like Kelsey and Josh Allen. It's a very nice, safeguarded back-to-back duo to pair with JT if the players aren't falling right. So hope that answers your question, but make sure you're on the lookout for Swift and Javonte, because I absolutely love Swift and Javonte, bro. It's my absolute favorite. All right, Stormcat.
Smitty, Stormcat.
Smitty,
here.
Stormcat.
Quick question. With Gronk announcing his retirement, do you think Cameron Brate has any value, either in regular drafts or in best ball? Thanks.
Yeah, Silver got him in 2 seconds. Silver's on top of that mod stuff. Brate, yeah, I mean, look, let's not get carried away. We all just kind of agreed, I think. The 92 of us in the building right here. Hit that thumbs up, by the way, if you're coming in the door. Subscribe.
Hit that subscribe button if you're new, and wipe your feet at the door.
Deshaun Watson, that like button, and get in here and wipe your feet. I think we all agreed in here that Gronk's coming back. Almost 90 people in here agreed in unison. Gronk's coming back at some point. So Brate, he's okay, bro. He's okay. He's like I don't know. The top 10 tight ends are gone. You're looking for a backup, or you got screwed out of drafting a tight end because you weren't paying attention, and you need to grab a couple people, and you grab 2 kind of Brate type players. Like, sure. But I'm like, why are you going to put yourself in that position? You know what I mean? Why do you need Brate? What is it just because it sounds fun to grab him? You know, he's a new face. Look, I got a new person to talk about. Brate. Hey. Now Brate can come out and play. Can Brate come out and play, Smitty? I mean, why not just grab Freiermuth? He's going like in round 10. Why not just grab Freiermuth? The Muth is available. His services are cheap. He's always there. Don't put yourself in a position where you need to draft Brate. You know what I mean? I just think it's a waste. Why go there? Why go there? You know what I'm saying, Stormcat?
One last question, Smitty. I'm typically a late round quarterback drafter, so I typically like to fill out those wide receiver 1, running back 1 slots first, and then go after my backups. Maybe grab a tight end like Kittle in the 4th. If I'm doing so, like, which one of the quarterbacks in the later rounds would you be more favorable to us drafting? Like, I'm kind of thinking, you know, as my earliest quarterback, like a Jalen Hurts, something like that, in that range. But I'm, like, totally okay with getting a Tom Brady, you know, maybe a Trey Lance later. Trey Lance I really like. You know, I could even go even further, as much as like the last quarterback I'm drafting is like Kirk Cousins. Once I get to like Derek Carr territory, I just it's just a complete fold.
I'm just kidding with you, bro. But I mean, I'm never missing quarterbacks so many times in a row that I'm settling for a Kirk Cousins. How do you know, like, but in Superflex, I can understand that. Like, going late, quarterback in a Superflex, okay, I get that. You know who you can get, though? Do you know who the secret weapon Superflex quarterback to grab when you, let's say you get the number 4 overall pick? Okay, you're able to get one of the big 4. You get either Burrow or Mahomes. You're set. Now, let's say you want to go on a rampage of taking those running back 1s and the wide receiver 1s and, tight end, whatever, and you end up being put in a position where you don't have any viable good QB options available. I'll tell you who the surprise guy to pick up is. Davis Mills. Davis Mills is a darn good QB2 in a Superflex league where you botched quarterback or you passed on quarterback number 2 for a reason. So Davis Mills is a secret weapon QB2. Absolutely love it. I am an early quarterback drafter. I'm also a late quarterback drafter. But my question to you would be, if you miss out on Herbert, Burrow, Mahomes, and Josh Allen because you're not an early quarterback drafter and your line in the sand is different. I'm not trying to convince you where your line in the sand is for early quarterback. You got to do you, okay? But why are you missing on Wilson, on, like you said, you'd be happy with a Brady, but Wilson or Trey Lance even. Like, you never get to a Cousins, bro. You literally have those top 4 guys. You've got Wilson, you've got Lance, you've got Aaron Rodgers, you've got Tom Brady, you got Matthew Stafford, you got Jalen Hurts. You literally can't be starting a Kirk Cousins. If you're starting a Kirk Cousins, you're losing. I'm not saying he can't do okay, but that's not as your starter. As your super flex, maybe, but I still pass on Cousins personally to go get Mills a little later to then beef up my running back 2 and wide receiver 2. So that's it. Am I almost up in the Cooper Cup League? I don't know if I am. Ryan.
What's up, Smitty? My quick question is pertaining to the fan bases of the NFL. Which teams, organizations...
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Ryan, but we got a new YouTube exclusive member, and that's Pearson. So, Pearson, I want to, first of all, welcome you to the YouTube exclusive member club. Look at that nice green name you now have attached to you. All the new emojis you have available. When we lock things down during the year, late night streams, probably even like a 20-minute period during the 7 p.m. show, we'll go down to exclusive mode for about 20-30 minutes to give a lot of the YouTube exclusive members some time. We want to congratulate Pearson for becoming a YouTube exclusive member. Ladies and gentlemen. Let's go! Mashed potatoes! Yeah, buddy. Appreciate you. Good buddy, good sir. Welcome, Pearson, Kenny, Vamp, and gang. Welcome. Welcome into the YouTube exclusive group. Where were we? I'm sorry, Ryan.
Pertaining to the fan bases of the NFL, which team's organization do you feel has the strongest, most hardcore fan base of them all? Thank you.
Fan base? I don't know, man. That's a really... Everybody's going to tell you their fan base. Like, I can tell you that, because I deal with the Niner fan base so much because I do a Niner show on Instagram, they're hardcore. They're a good group of fans, but they're also very brutal. Like when Mostert got hurt, Deebo Samuel, like they can be vicious to their team as well, but they're a hardcore group and they'll come at you. They're hardcore. Vikings are pretty hardcore to the bone. Packers fan, I personally think Packer fans have probably the best experience. There's ownership involved. There's waiting for season tickets. Like you're gifted that and you're handed that down as inheritance. So Green Bay seems like the most like engaging and most fun fan base to be a part of, honestly. And then the cold weather games, like that just seems fun to me. But as far as like the best fan base, I mean, I don't know, man. You could argue like 15 different fan bases. Certainly not the Cardinals. I'll tell you what, some of it is relating to the state that you're in. Like the Rams, they don't really have an identity, so they're kind of like everyone's, fair weather fan attaching to the Rams. Rams don't have a big, huge, loyal, monstrous fan base like the Niners do, or a team that's been, like the Vikings or the Packers. The Cardinals also don't have a very good fan base because it's growing. It's getting better. They created that stadium in Glendale. They've created a lot of homegrown Glendale supporters. So it's got a lot better. I wouldn't call the Cardinal fans fair weather anymore. But the Cardinal fans, the reason the Cardinal fans are kind of like start off fair weather, and the reason the Suns fans are kind of fair weather is because Arizona, it's not the fans' fault. Arizona, you rarely have people that were born here. They migrate here. They retire here. They visit here during the summer. So Arizona is oftentimes full of people that are from other places. So they feel like fair weather because they just got here and they're supporting the Suns. And same thing with the Cardinals. So that's kind of why Arizona is built that way. And you got to look a little deeper to understand why.
One more question. This is
85 in here. Hit the thumbs up.
Basically about those running backs this year. So like I'm seeing a couple of these after doing these mock drafts. I'm seeing a couple of these running backs fall a little bit further. Which RB2 are you looking at to target the most this upcoming year? RBs like Miles Sanders, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, anything in the RB2 territory. Thanks so much. Bye.
Those don't feel like RB2s to me. Those feel like RB3s. Miles Sanders, he better not be RB2 or you're not doing it right. You know what I mean? Like, you got to go after, your RB2 should look like ETN. Your RB2 should look like Breece Hall. Your RB2 should look like Kenneth Walker at the very least. Your RB2 could look like David Montgomery. Your RB2 could potentially be Elijah Mitchell cuffed with the backup or backups. Your RB2 could maybe be, you could even maybe get Gibson as your RB2. I'm not saying that you can't build best player available and go running back, wide receiver, quarterback. And then, yeah, you're going really late on your RB2. But that's a different, unique approach. But I would also say, Ryan, given where Kenneth Walker is falling religiously to round 6 and 7, just like I talked about quarterback earlier, you almost have no excuse for letting Kenneth Walker slip by you so many times. I have people on my text line that say, they literally say, Smitty, who do I take here? And it's like the 6.5 round and Kenneth Walker's there. And I'm like, I'm impatient. I'd take Kenneth Walker because they list off guys that, yeah, Kenneth Walker could fall. But the players he's listing off, they aren't worth the risk of Walker falling. So 6.5, give me Walker. And you go, oh, okay. The guy doesn't take Walker. Then it's 7.6 or 7 point whatever pick is up on the clock. He's like, hey, who do I take here between, let me throw out a name like that I remember this conversation going. Like, do I take, it'd be like wide receivers, like Lockett? Do I take Burks? Do I take, Hunter Renfrow, Alan Lazard, maybe a Juju, maybe a Bateman? And then I'm like, okay. You didn't end up getting Kenneth Walker? No, I didn't take him. Is he there? Yeah, he's there. Okay, so your boy Smitty wanted. He's still there, Smitty. Do I take him? What do you think, Bob? I just told you to take him in round 6. You didn't take him. Now you wonder if you should be taking Lockett instead of Kenneth Walker. There's no excuse for letting Walker fall round after round after round. And then in round 8, I'm like, please grab Kenneth Walker. You didn't listen to me in round 6. You didn't listen to me in round 7. And then, he got sniped right before my pick. Darn it, we missed him. No, we didn't miss him. You missed him, bro. You missed him. I told you to take him 2 rounds ago. Freiermuth. No reason you should fall past Freiermuth for tight end 1. Kenneth Walker. No reason you should fall back past Kenneth Walker for running back 2. Trey Lance. No reason you should fall past Trey Lance for your QB1 in a 1 QB league. That's how I feel about those guys. Kenny. And Ryan, I'm not mad at you.
Exclusively looking at it from a redraft position, how do you feel about Pitts this year?
You guys like my Lou Molinati shirt? Look at this Lou Molinati shirt. They sent me some swag. Kyle Pitts. His overall ranking consensus-wise across the fantasy industry is number 30 overall. That means 25 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 3.6. Who's around 3.6? Montgomery, Elliott, Keenan Allen, Pittman, DK. I take DK. Gibson. I take Gibson. Deontay. I take Kyle Pitts over Deontay. Cam Akers. I take Kyle Pitts over Cam Akers. T. Higgins, you could easily argue T. Higgins or Pitts. Both about even. But Montgomery, I'd probably take Montgomery. Elliott, I'd rather have Kyle Pitts than Elliott. Keenan Allen, I'd rather have Kyle Pitts than Keenan Allen. Michael Pittman, I know a lot of you like him, but you're overdrafting him as your third drafted player. Kyle Pitts can be a mid to late third drafted player, not top of the third. Mid to late third drafted player, preferably 4.1 to 4.4. That's where I'd rather you get Kyle Pitts as your fourth drafted player, to be honest. But if you're sitting there and you're like Smitty, DK, Gibson, Kyle Pitts, and Monty are there, I'm not taking Kyle Pitts. I'm not. If you're telling me Pittman and Cam Akers and Keenan Allen are there, I'm taking Kyle Pitts, and then I will take Kenneth Walker, in the next couple rounds. You know what I'm saying, bro? That's how I'm rolling. Tony.
What's up, guys? So, what do we think about A.J. Brown? Is he a WR1, or are we kind of worried about him based on Hurts?
A.J. Brown. Let me type this in here. I go live with him once in off season. I'm hoping to do that very soon. These guys are a lot harder to get a hold of than they used to be. These NFL players, because they get shade in the media, and they didn't end up not wanting to talk to the media. And he was a holdout. He was in a holdout, so he got a lot of negativity from fan bases and from analysts, and he kind of distanced himself from people when that happens. Debo, you think Debo's going to come talk to an analyst like me now? You think A.J. Brown's excited to jump on a live stream, not knowing what I might say? Not, he doesn't know me that well. He doesn't know me at all. Probably barely remembers me at all. And the way people treat these guys, I'll tell you what, if I'm on a live stream with A.J. Brown, he's a top 5 to 10 wide receiver. As soon as A.J. Brown logs off, I'm going to tell you I'm a little concerned about that. Because his knees and injury concern, it's legit. It's real. I worry about it. Does he play more than 15, 14 games? I don't know. While he's on the field, he should dominate. He's one of the most efficient wide receivers in the NFL, meaning he can do a whole bunch with a little. He can do a lot with a little. I absolutely love A.J. Brown as a third drafted player. I could get behind him being your second drafted player if it's at the bookend 24 and 25 overall pick range. Example, case in point would be if you here is the third round, here's the second round, here's the first round. If you get to this part of your draft and you are left with Fournette, Elliott, guys like that, Keenan Allen, and I know everyone loves Higgins, but that's just too early for me. It doesn't mean I don't like Higgins, but it's just too early. You're left with those kind of guys. You're left with, in my opinion, I'm not liking Barkley here. I know a lot of you guys do. Barkley is not a 24 overall player to me. He's a mid-third to early fourth round pick for me, which means I might not draft him and own him a lot, and I'm fine with that, but I need to bake in the risk. So Barkley is that range for me. If I get to this point and I'm looking at those guys, then A.J. Brown could be a back-to-back player that you take with like a Josh Allen. If you're just sitting there and you got sniped the entire way from 1 all the way down to 24 overall. But if you're sitting there and A.J. Brown is, let's redo this too. Let's say you're sitting here and you got guys like, and I still worry about Hill, but at 24 overall, you can only be so worried about him getting hurt, changing teams. But like if you're sitting there looking at Hill and trying to think of other guys that could fall. Aaron Jones used to fall, but he's probably going to go a lot higher than 24 now. He's just getting cemented really high up into the mid-second round. If you see, obviously if a Javonte were there, you take Javonte. If let's say, Lamb's starting to fall, a lot of people are letting Lamb fall. Obviously, you take Lamb. If Diggs were to fall, which he won't because he's kind of going at the top of second, you might take him. Allen. So it just depends on who's there. If you're telling me that none of these guys are available, Aaron Jones is gone, then A.J. Brown actually becomes a pretty viable 24, 25 overall pick. But A.J. Brown's sweet spot is probably 3.5 to, down. That's where I'd probably say he's got the most baked in risk. A.J. Brown is probably what I'd say. I think we got Kenny.
Exclusively looking at it from a redraft position, how do you feel about Pitts this year?
Oh, I already got that one. Vince.
Hey, what's happening, fellas? Vince from Tampa Bay. Hey, I got a question for you. It's a full point PPR. Who would you rather keep? DK in the 5th round or Mike Williams in the 9th round? Obviously, I'm thinking round value. That's the only way that becomes a question. Thanks.
I don't know that round value is enough for me to not like the DK side more. So, like, you got to ask yourself, would you rather have Mike Williams and the player you could draft in DK's spot? I don't know if we're still in the same live stream or not, but of course, we're down. We're down again. We're down again. Let's see. I think we're still in the same live, right? Thank God. We still in the same live? We didn't start over, right? Same live stream? This isn't Verizon yet. I got to set it up. We're back. We're back. What were we talking about? We're still in the same live, right? Okay, same live. Vince was talking about
Williams in the 9th
yeah.
round.
So
Obviously, I'm thinking round value. That's the only way that becomes a question. Thanks.
yeah, so DK in round 5.
Hey, what's happening, fellas? Vince from Tampa.
DK in round 5 is still very, very good. It's so good that because it's a keeper league, you're talking about it really being the 6th round or 7th round. Like, so if you get that 5th rounder and you keep Mike Williams in 10 and you get the 5th rounder back, who's going to be there in the 5th round? It's not going to be 5th round guys. It'll be 6th or 7th round guys. So give me DK all day long. Look, DK is 2nd round capable, trapped in a 3.5 to 4.5 round value, which is phenomenal. If you can get him at 3.5 to 4.5 round value, you're getting him at 5. I take it all day. I like Mike Williams, but guess what? You could draft Mike Williams back a lot easier than you can draft back DK. That usually tells you who your keeper should be. Who's more likely for you to draft back? Give me DK. Thank you, Vincent. Tariq, hit the like button. Wipe your feet.
Anticipate on going on an emergency live stream for Deshaun Watson, being that all but 4 of his cases have been settled. Do you think at what point is the NFL going to come down on him, giving him any kind of suspension, if any, and the duration of it based on him settling all but 4 cases?
Yeah, like we said at the beginning of the show, I hammered it home at the beginning. 4 cases is still a lot. And it doesn't, even though it sounds nicer and it really is better, it's still career ending if they were to go the distance and him be found guilty of, you know, if any of those 2 new ones, or if those other 2 get filed, then those 4 total new cases, if any of them were to go back to the criminal track and get looked at by the DA, because those are 2 new cases plus potentially 2 more new cases, that evidence is different. So the DA would look at it differently. It's not like they've ruled out all criminal. Like when a new case comes up, it's subject to a criminal look, a gloss over. So they're going to look at it. I mean, I don't think anything's really changed. 4 cases, 6 cases, 10. I mean, does anybody think this won't grow to double digit again? Does anybody think the 4 cases currently won't be 10 by August 1? Does anybody truly believe that anybody out there that's been holding back, like the 2 people supposedly coming forward and the 2 people that made it from 22 to 24, they watched the HBO special? Do you think that of the 60 to 100 people this situation possibly impacted, does anybody in here think that this can't grow from 4 to 10 by August 1? Because people are watching him settle. And so now they're like, I could settle. I was involved in something like this. I didn't want to come forward, but I just saw them get, $200,000 or whatever. $100,000. We don't know what the details. I'm sure they'll get leaked. And once people start kind of getting an idea of what potential money they could be passing over, it's going to grow. Like you're living in La La Land. You're living in a fairy tale world if you believe this 4 won't grow to at least 8 to 10 by August 1. Things are not yet necessarily better yet at all.
Hey Smitty, it's Tyreek. How's it going? I just heard a report somewhere that Gronkowski is set to retire. If in fact that he is retiring, what's Tom Brady's quarterback outlook going to be for 2022? Does this make Mike Evans a top 5 to 7 wide receiver? And what's Russell Gage's outlook going to look like? Where do you see the pass distribution going to go to 2022 Bucs offense? Do you think Rachaad White might play a factor? Thanks, pal.
Thank you for the super. Terry in the house. What's up, Terry? Yeah, Rachaad White to the moon no matter what.
To the moon.
Mike Evans.
To the moon.
Tom Brady. Not great news for Tom Brady to lose Gronk, but again, we all think Gronk's coming back. It's a matter of how many games he sits out. You know, does he sit out even one game? Who knows? It sounded like Gronk was gonna try and talk Tom into coming back. Tom comes back, and now he's got to talk Gronk into coming back, and it's like around and around we go. I don't know if it's great for Evans, more so than before. Tom's still going to target him. I don't know that Gronk was going to command a massive amount of yardage, but the touchdown opportunities, Mike Evans is Tom Brady's most trusted touchdown target guy. So, yeah, I mean, maybe Evans is a good turn 25-26 overall wide receiver now, whereas I felt like it was a little early, you know, a day ago. But I feel like now, instead of 3.5, he felt great at 3.5. Again, me not liking a player like even Barkley. I don't like Barkley at 24 and 25 overall. That's me. You do what you want. That's me. I like him at 3.7, 3.6. Barkley's pretty good there. There's a lot of baked-in risk, in my opinion, at that area where you're close to that 4th-round pick. It's not like you're far apart or anything. It's very close and tight. And I'm okay with Barkley at 3.6. I'm okay with Mike Evans. His sweet spot was 3.5. Maybe the touchdown targets that he's going to now be subject to that may have gone the direction of Gronk. And it's not a ton. It's just another reason to love him. I think maybe he could be worthy of the 25 overall pick. I think he could. Silver, Rapture, Vamp, Blackbeard, all dropping super chats at the same time. And Kenny, look at this. And Pearson. It's all, look at, everyone's throwing in the internet fund. We got the Verizon modem. We got to set it up and try it out because I thought, okay, maybe we're in the clear here. Maybe we're in the clear. I almost want to run both of the internet, you know, because they're both reasonable even together. But I don't think I'll be able to hop on one versus the other in the middle of stream issues. Usually the stream goes down and then that's it. And then you have to go live, and I could jump on the other network and I could roll with two. I may do that, but it's not going to help us if let's say Verizon's no better and then it goes down. Every internet service provider is going to have some good and bad, and it's just going to be the way it is. And you're subject to using the 2 or maybe if you're lucky 3, but probably 2 options that are available to you. Swaggy dropping in. Kenny Pete, let me see if I can get to these. Internet Fun says Kenny. Internet Fun says Swaggy. Internet Let's Go says Blackbeard. Internet Piggy Bank says Silver. And Pearson says chat, we out here. Terry drops another Internet Fund. Appreciate you, Terry. ISPS says Chucky. Chucky, what do you got? What do you have? I never heard of that. ISPS, what is that? Thank you guys for dropping that. Vamp, appreciate you. Thank you, Pearson, for becoming a YouTube exclusive member. Okay, let's go to, I don't know if these are old. Kenny?
Hey, Smitty, in honor of getting the number 1 pick in the Throne League, is there any debate at all between the 1 and 12 spot, which I think are the 2 most desirable positions?
I think that was a question from the day prior, but it's a great one to bring up again. We are contemplating trading. We contemplated it. Like, let's ask right now. We contemplated it, meaning like, should we talk about it? But the answer is no. And we did a vote last night. It was almost unanimous no. Like a couple people it was almost unanimous. Like 1 or 2 people like the idea of 12. I think I could draft a better team from 12. I really do. But I can't say no to JT. And if the draft falls a certain way, our team's going to be absolute fire. So I can't turn down myself, JT, but it's not up to me. It's up to you guys. So drop a number. Do you want the 1 pick or the 12 pick? drop it in the chat. I'm pretty sure it's going to be almost a unanimous 1.1, which is fine. I don't think I would trade it either. You rarely get the 1.1 unless you can trade individual picks, which we can't. We can only swap draft orders. So we either draft at 1 or we draft at 12. There's no trading the 1 pick for two draft selections. I like doing that. But I think you rarely get the 1 pick in a situation where you can't trade outright. You can only trade total draft orders. And I think it's a mistake to not take advantage of getting that 1 pick and rolling with it. Take JT. Let's hope that they screw up in the draft ahead of us and we land 2 guys we absolutely love. In a worst case scenario, I almost guarantee, and it looks like there's a couple 12 votes, but it looks like 1.1. I almost guarantee that some of you won't like this and some of you will, but I almost guarantee that Josh Allen and Travis Kelce will be available at 24 and 25. And I know a lot of people want to go late quarterback, but getting JT, Josh Allen, and Travis Kelce, you could arguably have the top player at all 3 of those positions and have one of the most secure, well-rounded teams in fantasy football 2022 and in this league. So it's something we should consider if we get to that place, and we're looking at, in my opinion, at a Barkley. We're looking at those guys. I'd much rather go Josh Allen and Kelce at 25 and 24. Now I know this league pretty well. They're very running back hungry. However, there are 4 new people in this league that may not draft the same as the individuals that they're replacing. So we might see Kelce go at 2.1 with the new group that we have in there. We also have this new group that could throw an Elliott in there. They could throw a Fournette in there. Definitely could see a couple guys bumping down to where we're sitting pretty at 24 and 25, and we don't even need to go Josh Allen or Kelce, but we'll see. Looks like a pretty hardcore 1.1 versus the other. So let's stick with the 1.
Hello. Deshaun Watson's a dirty boy.
Silver. Terry.
Hey, Smitty, Terry here from Canada. I would trade the 101 for the 112 in a heartbeat. At the 101, the consensus number 1 pick in all formats in fantasy football is JT. And you know what? Pass up on that. I kind of find that do a better draft at the 12th position. JT, excuse me, goes down with an injury or just shites the bed this year for some reason, and it could happen. Now, you look like a genius. Someone else has that problem, and you're getting out of that situation where you're kind of forced to take JT at the 101 because he is the consensus number 1 pick in most, if not in every format.
Thank you, pal. Yeah, I guess I would say this. I guess I would say if we take it to the board. Here are the teams that you can build and why I think it should at least be considered. The conversation should be had. People that say, Smitty, you be dumb. Like, what did Swaggy? Swaggy said something like that yesterday. Swaggy, you be stupid to trade. Or Swaggy said, Smitty, you be stupid to trade it. It's not up to me. It's up to all of us. But I don't think it's stupid to consider it, Swaggy, because look, this is the kind of team that you're building. So here's the 1, the 2, the 3, the 4th round. JT, if we get sniped to the moon, we're landing an Andrews. And let's just say you guys have been saying Barkley. So let's just put Barkley there. I think Barkley in this league's going to go here. I'm hoping he goes high because I don't want him here. I know that looks pretty decent to a lot of you. But I do think that you can build a better team and Swift may not fall either, though. So this might not work out like we think at the 12 pick in this particular draft. And running backs get grabbed quickly. But again, 2 new players involved. They could go wide receiver. But starting off with Swift and Javonte, for me, is better than starting off JT and Andrews. And the question is this benefit of having these 2 players over JT and Andrews? Because I personally think these guys can rival JT, and I think these guys can outperform Andrews, even though it's a different position and you're considering that different position. The question then becomes, does your player here and here, let's call this Breece Hall, who I absolutely love. And I don't know that he would fall either in this format either, so it's kind of hard to predict. But do I think that Hall is better than Barkley or at least equal? I do. That's how I feel. I feel Hall is warranted for this turn pick draft selection. So therefore, these three players, Hall, Swift, and Javonte, now those are all three running backs, outperform JT, Andrews, and Barkley. I would rather have Swift, Javonte, and Hall. Or let's say we put DK and Waddle. And then I don't know who this would be. Let's call it Deontay, which I don't know if he'd fall or not. I'd rather have these four players, DK Metcalf, Waddle, Swift, and Javonte over JT, Andrews, Barkley, and Deontay. I would take these four right here over those four. The question is, will we get the right players falling? And do we go like Josh Allen? And I know some of you don't like early quarterback, but I myself love it if you can draft those sleepers later. Like, let's say we get in the 5th round. I don't think Kenneth Walker will necessarily fall as far in this draft either. So if we took him in round 4, 5, so let's put Ken Walker in here. If we put Kenneth Walker in round 5, we'd have to reach for him in this draft because they're very running back hungry. Let's say we got Kenneth Walker there. Then I could get behind a Josh Allen here. And then let's say Kelsey fell because they do let tight ends fall as well. And then let's say right here with this 4th pick, I don't know what player could fall here, but JT, Josh Allen, Kelsey, and Walker, and then a receiver here or running back, whatever, that's phenomenal. So the 1 pick could end up being just as good, or better. It just really depends on how. Mark Cleveland with a $10 super chat.
Mashed potatoes!
Yeah, buddy. Appreciate you, Mark Cleveland, you bad boy. You are, because you super chatted over $10 in one super chat, you are in the Cooper Cup League 2, my friend, which is going to be called the No Bench League. And so I got to write down Mark Cleveland's name. Cleveland is in the house. Mark Cleveland. Appreciate you, buddy. Appreciate the hard work that you provide this show and this planet Earth, Mark. Thank you so much. Walker to the moon.
To the moon.
Absolutely. Absolutely to the moon. Okay, where else are we? Drew C, Internet. I think I shouted you out for that. Thank you, Drew C, for the super chat. 100 of you in here. Please thumb up the like button. Please, Deshaun Watson, the like button. Please, Dalvin Cook, the like button. Just smash it.
Hit that subscribe
Pulverize
button if you're new, and wipe your feet at the door.
Get it. Wipe your feet. Where are we at? Michael K, CPA.
Smitty, Travis Etienne's going mid-3rd round. I think it's gone too high. What do you think?
I think Travis Etienne.
To the moon.
I'm fine with it. I'll take Etienne at 3.5. I don't have much of a hesitation. Etienne.
To the moon.
Very much can do well from 3.5. Very much can hit a home run still from 3.5. Etienne, as your 3rd drafted player, Michael K. CPA, is...
You've just been Smitty approved.
Totally fine with it, bro. Absolutely fine with it. Travis Etienne has big hands and big energy, and he's fantastic. Fantastic, Michael K. CPA. Do you need a job? I could use good people. I heard you're good people, Michael K. CPA. Asher.
Hey, Smitty, I was just wondering if you can touch on the Cooper Cup League and how the waivers is going to work. Free agency. Thanks.
You're going to get $100 to spend all year long. You can drop your entire wad on the first ad, and then you would in turn have to wait every single waiver period for everybody to clear. So if you drop somebody, they go on waivers. People bid at the nighttime. And if the guys that don't get bid on go on waivers, the guys that get cut go on waivers. or the guys that don't get bid on come off waivers, and you can basically go ahead, Silver, knock that out, Silver. So look for the details on it. Andy.
Mac Jones absolutely balled out his rookie season. 3,800 yards, 22 tutties, 13 picks, and a 92.5 passer rating. That's all with a suspect receiving core. That's really strong to me. I also love Thornton coming in as a rookie wide receiver. I know I'm in the minority on this, but I think this kid has a lot of potential. Are we sleeping on Mac Jones, or is it we just don't like his potential this year, or what are your thoughts on Mac?
I mean, I don't think we're sleeping on Mac Jones. What did you say when you came in here? You said he was balling.
Mac Jones absolutely balled out his rookie season. 3,800 yards.
Mac Jones absolutely balled out. I don't know if he balled out, bro. Yeah, I mean, Joseph's kind of got me pegged here. I don't hate Mac Jones. I don't hate anybody. But I don't know if I'd categorize him as balling out. He seems very limited to me. Like, I feel like Mac Jones is good, but can he ever be an elite quarterback? I don't think so. I think he's going to be an efficient quarterback that's going to do well enough for an offense that really they want to win with the defense, run the football. Are any elite top 10 wide receivers going to be made in New England in the next 5 years? Probably not. So I don't think so. Robert says if my wife walks in on me, Deshaun Watsoning the like button, that will be very hard to explain. I mean, technically he's saying he's not doing anything wrong to the like button. So Robert, are you really going to be in trouble in a court of law? I don't think so. Claims innocent till proven guilty, Robert. You'll be fine. You send her to me and I'll tell her. I'll say, he is our Michael K. CPA's assistant. He's just checking the books. Yeah, this is a good example. Kirk Cousins. Sorry, Andrew. I know you sound like you're a big Mac Jones and Patriots fan, so I apologize if that stung.
I also love Thornton coming in as a rookie wide receiver. I know I'm in the minority on this, but I think this kid has a lot of potential. Are we sleeping on Mac Jones, or is it we just don't like his potential this year? Or what are your thoughts on Mac?
Yeah, we're sleeping on him.
A real
Sorry,
question is, hey, so Gronk is out with the Bucks. That gives Gage more ball this year, even with Godwin coming back. Where you see Gage? Where are we gonna put Gage?
I'm not gonna push the moon button for Russell Gage, but Gage is gonna have a day. He's gonna have a day, 17 different times. But here's the rub. Pardon the pun that relates to Deshaun Watson's situation. Here's the rub. Like, everyone sees Gage coming. There's no one out there that doesn't see it coming. If somebody comes out with hey, Russell Gage is a sleeper post, he's not being slept on. Like, Gage is not being slept on. I'd venture to say, I don't know where his ADP is right now. Let me just see where he's really lowly ranked across the industry average, but people haven't updated anything yet. And this news today isn't going to hit ADP's, data for a while. I have a feeling people are going to draft Gage so high that I don't know that there will be a ton of upside left. I don't know. We'll have to see. He's a wide receiver 3 with tons of potential. He's not going around 12 now, official. So that's kind of my point, is where is he going to go? Is he going to go around 7? Is he going to go around 7 or 8? I mean, are you willing to take him in 7 or 8? I don't know that I can. There's no way he's going in 12 anymore, official. There's just no way. So let's monitor his ADP and then take it from there, because you bring up a good point. I like him a lot, bro.
Real talk, Smitty. Come on. You compare everything else. Which voicemail group is the best? Let us know, man. I think our voicemail group is lit.
Okay, so let me say this. We've got voicemail group number 1, which I'm rolling through right now. Voicemail group number 2, and we have the graveyard voicemail group. And they're all full of 30 people. Now, Group number 2 is different than group 1, but Graveyard has some overlap because it's about night shift stuff. So you want real honest talk? Voicemail group 2, you guys have been shotting the bed. Not doing anything for weeks. You're coming strong today. You are beating voicemail group number 1 today. You haven't in the past, but you're absolutely destroying this day, this Tuesday, June, what is it, 21st? Absolutely proud of voicemail group 2. I will say Graveyard is unique in their own way. Graveyard's just crazy. They're vampires. They're a bunch of night owls that don't sleep. And I go live because I'm a night owl. That's why we created the Graveyard chat. If you're watching and you're a Graveyard person, you're up late a lot. And you can leave voicemails for the late night shows. We're talking like past 1 o'clock a.m. Eastern. We're talking about 1 to 2 a.m. Eastern, at least 1 a.m. Eastern. If you're up 1 a.m. Eastern, DM me, Graveyard. We have like 5 spots left. These guys live and breathe in it. Like I went live at like 4 a.m. and some of these guys are jumping into my Dynasty live. I didn't expect anybody to jump in, but I had to get my Dynasty video done. They're crazy. But hey, I will say you guys are really dropping the fire right now in voicemail group 2. I'm proud of you.
Real question is, hey, so Gronk is out.
Okay, so we got both your questions. Terry.
Terry's curiosity. Speaking about trading that 101 pick, sometimes it's not a bad idea because
voicemail group 1 has been destroying everybody though. Just saying, I don't want my voicemail group 1 to be all upset. You guys have been dominating, So, but 2 is bringing the fire today. They're absolutely on fire.
on the consensus on all formats, JT is that number 1 pick. So now let's say you go to that 102, 103, or even to that 112. And then that someone obviously takes JT to 101 that you traded with, and for some crazy reason JT just shites the bed this year. You look like a genius for trading that 101 pick in case that does happen.
You'll look like a genius because you guys are in charge of trading it. I can only coach you along. This is not my it's your vote. You guys make every pick in the Fantasy Football Throne, which starts tomorrow, by the way. The Fantasy Football Throne draft starts tomorrow. We go live at 9 Pacific, noon Eastern to make our pick. We know it's JT, but we're going to go live. We're going to do a little vote here on YouTube. We're going to get all the JT votes collected, and then we're going to punch a button. Should you want to trade to the 12 pick, I'm pretty sure I can make it happen, is what I'm trying to tell everybody, because I think the guy with the 12 pick would take the 1 pick. Most people would. But the guy with the 12 pick, he's a Green Bay Packer fan. Maybe I can convince him that Aaron Jones is most likely going to be there at 24 versus, him having to take him at 13. Like, Aaron Jones may not fall, but I'm just saying I can maybe sweet talk him into giving that 12 draft slot up entirely for the entire 1 draft slot. I don't think it's really a great idea because we got the number 1 overall pick and we should take it and try to run with it. But do I like, I mapped it out. Do I like the 12 pick? Look at the team that we just drafted with the 12 pick. It's phenomenal. So there's an argument to be made, and I think it's important to have the discussion. But ultimately, let's roll with the 1. Let's take what's being given to us. We didn't have the 1 pick the year prior, or the year prior, or the year prior. This is our first year getting that 1 pick. Let's roll. Let's roll, shall we? Let's have a day. Let's draft JT tomorrow. We'll go live at noon Eastern, 9 Pacific to make this selection. Be there. It's an emergency live stream to draft, so we'll be doing it and doing it live. All right, where were we? There's so many voicemails today. Asher? Did I already play Asher?
Who's going to score more points? Tyreek Hill or Deebo Samuel?
Okay, so we're back to yesterday. Michael K. CPA. I think this is a new one from Terry.
Everybody talking quarterbacks, Josh Allen, Burrows, Mahomes. Why isn't there any love for Dak? I mean, I've drafted this guy in some drafts already in the 6th round. You can win championships with Dak, and then while you're sniping all these wide receivers and running backs from the guys drafting the Mahomes and the Allens early, I'm loving that situation. You can win a championship with Dak. Dak will put up numbers. Dak puts up numbers. He's a fantasy guy. What do you thoughts on that, Smitty?
I think Dak is definitely undervalued, but I don't know that I'm still ranking him any higher than I have him. He's one of those people that I look at, those players I look at, and I'm like, I'm undervaluing him, but there's no way to move him up. There's no way to make the argument that he should be going ahead of, you know, the top 5 or 6 guys in my mind. But he could play that well, so I'm okay with it. I think he's by default always going to fall. Always going to fall, always going to be a value. That's good. It's good news. He's Jalen Hurts. People are going to draft Jalen Hurts over him, and that's okay and understandable. So it's going to continue to happen, I think, bro. Okay, Graveyard's going to try and drop a message, I think. Okay, I think we're caught up. Let's go to the phone lines and answer some phone calls.
Call into the show. Call into the show.
Call into the show. Dial 602 NFL. Dong.
Okay. Call into the show. Clear this topic out. And let's hit the chat until somebody dials in. Silver, what's up? Michael. Silver's always not allowing them spammers anytime at all. He hits it in like 2 seconds. Hey, Smitty, what do you think of Chubb value round 3? I don't see him going in round 3 very often at all, broski. I don't ever see Chubb going in round 3. I would say if he's in round 3, the risk is absolutely baked in. For sure. Not even a question. I think this is a new message.
Hey guys, voicemail 1 definitely got this. Also, the graveyard shift is on par. Let's kill it.
Terry says voicemail group 1's beating voicemail group 2. You know what I think? This can include me. Okay? This can include me. I don't have time. I think voicemail group 1 needs to play voicemail group 2 in a league. So why don't you guys set that up? Why don't one of you commission that? I can't be involved. Voicemail group 1 versus voicemail group 2. Somebody take care of that. I'll try and connect 2 of you so that, because you're not in the same, you're not gonna be able to have the same. Maybe you can create a separate chat for it or whatever. Don't have me. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Somebody wants to do that. I'd love to know who's gonna beat who. Graveyard Shift. They're all by them. They have a crossover, so I don't know about that one. Smitty, Mike, Michelle or Jacobs this year? Mitchell. I'm sorry, Mitchell. Michelle. Sorry, Michelle. Mitchell or Jacobs this year? I'm going to probably say Jacobs is a little safer, like on paper, but I like Mitchell cuffed to the backups more than I like Jacobs. And you could say cuff him to Zamir. I'd be okay with that, but I'm going to go with Mitchell. Honestly, I'd go with Mitchell. I think he's just a tad bit more appealing to me. The Graveyard joined the league, they would sweep. Yeah, but there's too many crossovers, so I don't know if they could. Well, you guys do what you want, but voicemail group 1 should play voicemail group 2, and I can tell you who, 2 of you could be the co-commish, and you can hand out the link only to 5 other people in your group. So, like for example, in voicemail group 2. I see Asher. I see currently, like always in the chat here, I'm just going to name those individuals. Kevin. I see Kevin. I see LIT Goat. I see Michael K. CPA. Michael Watley. So Michael K. CPA, Watley, Terry, Asher. One of you guys should be the guy that's going to coordinate with one of the other guys in the other league. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. What can I do you for? Good talk. Call back. Call back if you dare. What's up, pal? You're live on the Fantasy Football Show.
What's going on? How you doing?
What's up, man? Who is this?
This is Kamal again. How you doing?
Kamal, what's up, pal?
Good. Two players, Leonard Fournette or Aaron Jones?
You know my answer, but I'm going to put it up on Lenny or A. Jones. Let me see if I can merge these two calls. What's up? You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. You still there? I think I hung up. Call back, Kamal. I tried to merge the two calls. What's up? You're live on the Fantasy Football Show.
What is the best way to play in a Superflex league? Is it getting a QB first or getting a running back first or a wide receiver first? And do you really trust Tyreek Hill, even though that he's the best wide receiver or one of the best wide receivers? I don't trust Tua.
I agree with you. Who am I talking to?
Tyler.
Tyler, good questions, Tyler. Number one, Kamal, if you keep calling, I'm sorry I'm not answering yet. Call me back right when this call ends, if you don't mind. Sorry, Kamal, I didn't mean to hang up on you. And then I'll answer your Lenny for Aaron Jones question. But as for this super flex question, it depends on your draft pick, Tyler. So, like, let me give you an example. If you, I don't know if you can see the marker board right now that I'm going to show, if you are able to, or you can rewatch it to kind of see what I'm talking about. But right now, I'm going to show you a draft board. And on that draft board, I'm going to kind of emphasize why the person with the number 1 through 4 overall pick absolutely can dominate Superflex. Just absolute dominate Superflex if you just follow this one simple recipe. Do you know what pick you have?
I think it's round 6.
Okay. No, pick 6 overall?
Yeah, 6 overall.
Okay. If you have a top 4 pick, and I don't know if you're going to get lucky to get one of the top 4 quarterbacks, you could put Lamar in there, so, you know, I guess. But once you get one of these top 4 quarterbacks, so you have Josh Allen, you have Mahomes is the 4th one probably. I would say Herbert's 2, Josh Allen 1. So your top 4 QBs, I'll just put a 4 there. So once your top 4 QBs are gone, it's gonna go on a pretty big QB run because people are they're gonna panic. Unless you know your league really well, Tyler, and they don't draft early quarterback, that's a different story. But in general, you're gonna have such a QB run that if you have a top 4 pick and you end up taking, let's just say, Burrow, and you get Burrow, now for you, you're in such a unique situation that you basically are starting the first round. You're getting players that were in the first round in this area where you're drafting. So it's almost as if you're starting a 1 QB draft over again from that point. You're getting Burrow. Now you're seeing guys like Swift available who were going around 1 in an actual 1 QB league. You're able to get Javonte as well. These are the picks that you would get, Javonte and Swift at 12 and 13 overall in a regular draft. So by getting Burrow and taking the plunge here, instead of taking a JT and then forcing a quarterback like Stafford or someone like that, if you go Burrow, if you go Mahomes, if you go Josh Allen or one of the top 4 QBs, you could throw Lamar Jackson in there, I suppose, too. And I think you should have a good bet. Somebody might take a non-QB, so I think you'll have a good chance to do that. And then just start your normal draft. You could go quarterback. I would flirt with the quarterback in the 4th and 5th round, like an Aaron Rodgers or Brady, if they happen to be there. If not, Davis Mills is a very, very crafty but high-risk QB2 to throw alongside of your quarterback. You could grab a couple guys like that. There might be, I don't know how far Trey Lance will fall. It depends on how QB hungry your group is. But you are starting off you got to start this second round like it's the first round. And if you draft against traffic, like you are starting the trend up here, and if they all go QB hungry, you're going to be drafting against traffic. That means between your pick and this pick, maybe 4 non-quarterbacks will go, bro. It's almost as if this didn't even happen. These draft slots here, it's almost like it didn't even happen. You just all of a sudden are on the clock again. So that would be my advice.
Okay, and then do you trust Tyreek Hill, even though he has a horrible situation?
Do I trust Tyreek Hill? I don't know if it's horrible. It's not a horrible situation because Miami Mike knows what he's doing. He just doesn't. I think he thinks that he's got a better quarterback than he has. But I'm worried like crazy about this guy Tua. I don't think he can feed everybody. But the thing is, the one thing, wait a minute, Tua's great. I got my Tua goggles on. Tua's fantastic. He's the best quarterback in the league. The thing about it is Miami Mike's going to use Tyreek Hill in so many ways, Tyler, that it may help make him back to not where he was in KC, but help him get those opportunities back that might be divided up differently. But here's what I'll say. I'm kind of with you. I don't know that I'm drafting Tyreek Hill by design in 2022. I find myself drafting him in a lot of mock drafts because he feels like by far the best name and player at a glance. But I'm worried about him getting hurt. I'm worried about, all of his speedy play catching up to him, hamstring, soft tissue injuries, changing teams, changing playbooks, being just blindly optimistic about Tua. I could seriously see this thing backfiring in Hill and Waddle being the number one wide receiver and Hill missing time. Like, I'm a little cautious about it. So I agree with you. I don't know it's because Miami Mike can't get him the football, though. Because I think he could hand the ball off to him, run him like Debo. So I'm definitely not on board. All right, Tyler, you got anything else?
Nope, thanks.
Appreciate you, Tyler. Call in anytime, man. Appreciate you. Two good questions, man.
Bye.
Later. Okay, Kamal, dial back. I'm sorry, pal. I think that's Kamal. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Is this Kamal?
This is Chuck.
Oh, Chuck. What's up, Chuck?
I got a keeper question for you, sir. Kind of a complicated keeper league. You have a choice of keeping a player in the first 5 rounds, and if you do that, then you can only keep one other player. Or you can keep 3 if they all cost you a 6th-round pick or later. Right now, it looks like I'm going to keep Javonte Williams for my 10th, Debo for my 15th, and by the way, this is no PPR, and either Elijah Mitchell for 15th, which would bump down to a 14th, or J.K. Dobbins for a 13th. That's all contingent upon me being able to make a round 1 pick. I've got some players that I can maybe swap a pick in the first round and get back to 101 and redraft Taylor. Assuming I can do that, who are my 4 keepers? Williams for my 10th, Dobbins for my 13th, Elijah Mitchell for my 14th or 15th, and Debo for my 14th or 15th.
Debo and Javonte, let's take them out because they're clearly your keepers, 2 of your keepers. So you have to choose 2 more out of, I think you've only given me 2.
I can keep 3 out of these 4. Javonte, Dobbins, Elijah,
isn't ready,
and Debo.
Dobbins isn't ready. That could change, but I mean, I just don't trust him.
And I don't have to declare them till just before the draft.
Yeah, I think you got to revisit
but
this. You got to revisit.
We have wide open free agency in this league and a player trading right up before the keeper declaration date. So I think I can finagle things where I can get to 101 by trading another piece and swap my 109 for my 101. It's a 10-team league.
Yeah, I would do
And,
that. I would do that.
Then I can redraft Taylor.
I would contact your grandma or your uncle, whoever's in this league that's allowing you to draft the.
Shut up. Shut up. I haven't won this league, and I can't remember when.
Well, that's shameful. But contact Grams. She might be napping right now, but contact Grams when she gets up and see if you can get that one pick. But yeah, I mean, your Debo and Javonte are amazing keepers, and then you've got this okay keeper. But I would probably trade rather than keep either one of them. I like Elijah Moore a lot, but Elijah Moore you can easily draft back. It's not like he's a tough player to draft, so it's not like you got great value with either one.
Elijah Mitchell.
Oh, Elijah Mitchell. I would keep Mitchell over J.K. I still would make the trade to get JT.
Okay.
I'd make the trade. I would trade either one of them to get a pick to pick Breece Hall. I'd rather have Breece Hall. Not over JT, but I'm just saying I'd rather have Breece Hall well over both of those players. And he's pretty cheap. Kenneth Walker.
I'm hoping Breece falls to me in the third round or maybe the second.
Yeah, but I mean a pick that can get you Breece Hall. I'd rather have Breece Hall or Kenneth Walker over J.K. and Elijah Mitchell. So do whatever you can do to finagle a pick that will allow you to grab that player or JT in the first round.
Unfortunately, after the keepers are declared, all the players are locked. So
yeah. If you can live with yourself after raking grandma over the coals for JT, I mean, obviously do that, but definitely feel like Kenneth Walker, a pick that can land Kenneth Walker or Hall should be pretty attainable.
The piece I have that might make the swap is I've got Derrick Henry, who can be kept in the second round at 210 by the guy who has the 101.
Yeah.
So he'll jump on that.
All right, Chuck, you got anything else?
In order. And that's it, Smitty. Thanks.
Yeah, appreciate you, man. Thanks,
Appreciate
Chuck.
you.
All right. We had a couple people trying to call in. Keep hitting it. You're live on the Fantasy Football Show. Who am I talking to?
Hey, Smitty, what's up, bro? It's Umberger.
Who is this?
Umberger.
What's up?
What's up, bro?
You gonna let Jocelyn and Pretty Richie do you in like that, being the top super chatters of the year so far?
Well, you know what, man? I'm that league you're running. I guess they're saying I timed out, but
no, you're on the clock. I
didn't even have no invite to it, man.
You're on the clock right now.
Well, I don't even have an invite to the league. I don't even have it in my thing.
You gotta check your junk mail. I've sent it out, man. Let me see if I can pause.
Do you know my email?
Let me see if I can pause this draft. You're gonna time out.
I can pause it, Beam.
Timing out in less than a minute. Hold on. This is gonna be close. This is gonna be close. No timer. Turn timer off. Hit save. Hit draft. Oh, gotcha. Okay. So, Umberger, let me tell you who you got so far, because you've timed out twice. It's not your fault technically, but I have sent the invite out. You got to check junk mail. You so far have. Let's see if you like your team.
All right.
Dalvin Cook, Leonard Fournette.
Okay. That's fine. Whatever.
I mean, is what it is,
I
right?
guess I don't even know what's
I'll
available.
send you another invite after we disconnect right now. But let me go ahead and pull up.
Can you send it to me through Sleeper chat? A direct message in Sleeper?
I can try and do that for you. But you're gonna get an invite. You're gonna get an invite through your email. There's no way to send you an invite. It comes from My Fantasy League. But let's get your pick taken care of right here. So you're on the clock. You've got Fournette. You got Dalvin Cook.
Okay.
The top players available are Mahomes, Herbert, Kyle Pitts, T. Higgins, Joe Burrow, Jalen Waddle, Lamar Jackson, Keenan Allen, Cam Akers, Kyler Murray, Pittman, DK, Deontay, ETN, Zeke Elliott, Connor, J.K. Kittle, Gibson, McLaurin, DJ Moore, Mike Williams, Hollywood Brown. I think I've gone deep enough. But let me just make sure there's not Josh Jacobs, Devin Singletary, Amari Cooper.
Can you share your screen?
You what?
On your stream? Can you share your screen on the stream?
I can do a screenshot real quick. Hold on.
Sorry, man. I'm just like tying up your show here, trying to get my pick in.
That's right,
So sad, man.
Okay, so
I'll be quick though.
Here are the players.
Okay. Wait, and what's like the settings again?
It's pretty standard. Pretty standard scoring. 1 QB, 2 running backs, 3 wide receivers, a flex, a tight end, and no kicker. But I believe we do have a defense. We got bench spots.
All right, give me T. Higgins.
Higgins?
Give me T. Higgins, yeah.
T. Higgins. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Final answer?
Final answer.
T. Higgins it is. Unberger has drafted T. Higgins. Now I'm going to go turn the timer back on. Okay, Unberger, you got any questions for me?
Yeah, what do you think about old T. Higgins this year? I mean, he looked pretty good in the season, right? I mean, he's definitely talented.
Yeah, I mean, I like T. Higgins. I think he's capable. I think I did a breakdown on it where I said I think he's getting way overdrafted, T. Higgins, but then I looked at it and I'm like, he's going to get 1,100 yards, 1,200 yards. He's going to get 10 touchdowns. He's going to have 70 to 80 receptions minimum. Like, that's borderline wide receiver 1 or at least elite wide receiver 2 value. So, like, is he really getting overdrafted?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe not. Maybe not. I just think when I see him go, like, at the turn, 2-3 turn, it's a little early. Late third, I'm okay with that. Mid third, I feel like it's a little early, but it's arguable. But that's kind of where I stand. I'm like, okay, mid third to like early fourth feels perfect, but he's going sometimes earlier than that. I'm not sure. I'm really feeling that like 3.1, 3.2. You know, just like Fournette.
Yeah, you're looking maybe like 3 and 4, right?
Anywhere near.
In the third, 4.
Yeah, I mean, maybe fourth round, like if you want, but I think Rachaad White's coming for his job. Anything else, Umberger?
Who is what?
You what?
No, man, good talking to you. Take care.
Yeah, yeah. Don't let Jocelyn and Pretty Richie just school you on the top super chat in a single live stream all year. Just, you know, little challenge to you, Umberger, in case you go to Vegas and you win a bag. Just saying.
Yeah, I gotta recreate my account here, and like I got that time where that one guy or whatever, the clown or whatever, and I toss him some lip and chat.
Leave other people alone. Let's focus on building this thing up, baby. We got it here. We don't need to worry about anybody else, Umberger. You're here. I'm here. Let's do it live. Appreciate you, Umberger.
Take care, man.
Bye. Umberger, unbelievable. The man, the myth, the legend. Remember when he'd call in? He was one of the first people to call into the show. We got a DJ is dropping a super here. $9.99. Anything above $9.99. I mean,
But Smitty.
Button.
Let's go.
Potatoes. Yeah, buddy. Attaboy, appreciate you. Mashed potatoes. Appreciate you. DJ says, sign me up for the Cup number 2 league, the No Bench League. DM me on IG, DJ. DM me on IG. We got Cleveland and DJ Meat Missile. DJ Meat Missile. Appreciate you, buddy boy. DJ Meat Missile. Where's Kamal? I guess I'll answer Kamal's question. Leonard Fournette or Aaron Jones? Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones to me is a borderline middle second round, preferably late second round, preferably third round player. I understand Aaron Jones going around 2. I'm not mad at it. I'm not telling people to take laps. I'm not advising people to avoid Aaron Jones in mid 2 to late 2. Kamal, call back if you're still there. But I certainly feel like it's a little bit of a risk to take Aaron Jones in round 2 at all. Even at the 2-3 turn, because I would do it. Like in the Throne League, if you guys vote Aaron Jones at 24 and he's there, I don't think he'll be there. I think he's getting a little overdrafted is kind of my point. I'd be okay with it at 24. Like, he can earn that. He could ball out. The Packers have to utilize him in order to win games because their wide receiver room is very inexperienced and is thinned out. And this guy, Aaron Jones, is quite possibly the best pass catcher on the entire Green Bay Packers roster. And if the Packers don't utilize that and feed him, and that makes room for Dillon behind the just running up the gut all day while Aaron Jones is on the field potentially at the same time. I mean, here's the thing. Aaron Jones, as much as I'm cautioning people a little bit about taking Aaron Jones in the middle 2-round area, like he's a borderline 2-3 turn for me, and he's going way higher than that, so I usually don't own Aaron Jones, and that's fine. That's by design. But I like him. I like him enough to say he's a 2-3 turn. Leonard Fournette, I wouldn't even draft in the 4th round. I wouldn't draft Leonard Fournette in the 4th round. I don't care what you tell me. I'm drafting Kenneth Walker over Leonard Fournette, and Kenneth Walker's falling to 6, 7, 8. I'm not saying Fournette can't do it, but he smells like disappointment in 2022. I'm sorry, but that's how I feel about Leonard Fournette. You can't really change my mind. You can disagree with me if you want. You can ride the Leonard Fournette train into the sunset. I'm fine with it. I'm not mad at you. I don't even think you need to take a lap. If you like Leonard Fournette in round 3 or 4, where his ADP is, how can I tell you to take a lap? I'm not going to tell somebody to take a lap drafting a guy at their ADP. But I'm most certainly not going to be a part of it because I don't like him. I think Leonard Fournette he's riddled fantasy owners with disappointment his whole career on and off. He's seemed to revive himself a couple times, come back from the dead. I get it. There's appeal in a Tom Brady-led offense that now doesn't have Gronk. They may lean on the run a little bit more than normal, but I think Leonard Fournette is going to disappoint. Look, he got ousted out of a job in Jacksonville after giving chance after chance after chance. They finally gave him a final warning. He goes out and gets arrested. Yeah, it was a measly 100 and something speeding ticket, but he got cuffed and arrested after they'd already sat him down and said no more cancer locker room garbage where he becomes a cancer in the locker room. No more off the field issues or anything like that at all. Be a good citizen inside these walls. Don't do anything wrong. He goes out, goes over 100 miles an hour, gets pulled over. Again, not the biggest deal in the world, but it's an example of him not being able to get his stuff right. And I think that he shows up overweight, dropping footballs to camp recently, with Rachaad White saying, I'm not here to be a backup. I'm here to start games. I'm here to be the starter. And Tom Brady, word is, requested a PPR back to add to this roster because he didn't feel that this was sufficient enough for him from a pass catching perspective. His running back room was lacking, and he wanted a true PPR back. And if you don't know what time it is, you're not paying attention, you're not watching film, you're not looking at this kid, Rachaad White, you don't know what his highlight reels look like, you don't even know his style of play, you think he can't pass protect at all, or he can't learn it, you just assume he's going to be garbage at pass protection, you just assume that he's not going to learn that, even though other players didn't have a lot of pass protection experience, come in, work hard, learn it, and become good pass protecting running backs. Just because Arizona State didn't ask him to pass protect as much as he probably should have been, preparing for the NFL, it is what it is. Kenneth Walker didn't pull in passes because they didn't need him to. He was busy running for 150 to 200 yards. Kenneth Walker was a little tied up, and he didn't get thrown the football. Not his fault. He proved he can catch. Rachaad White can move all over the field. Rachaad White, like ETN, will be talked about just being scattered all over the field. He's running here, running there. Him and Leonard Fournette, because of Gronk's absence, Leonard Fournette, if they don't move him to tight end, if he keeps gaining weight, Leonard Fournette can be on the field at the same time as Rachaad White, who gets a moon call.
To the moon.
I absolutely love Rachaad White 2022, and you can get him dirt cheap. Leonard Fournette is not in my top 4 rounds. I don't care where his ADP is. He's a disappointment waiting to happen, in my opinion. Leonard Fournette is Smitty disapproved.
You've just been Smitty disapproved.
Smitty's been watching Rachaad White a lot. He's an ASU fan. I trust him on that. You know what? Some people will say that is a bad thing, that I'm a homer on this particular topic because I'm going to root for my hometown. I'm not. And I'm not saying you're saying that, Vamp. I'm saying a lot of people will assume that. I don't. I'm not going to talk up. I talked up Ayuk. I understand. I like N'Keal Harry. He busted. That was on New England too, though. New England completely misused him. There have been good players that have come out of ASU, but it's rare. Like, these are 3 players in the past 10 years that have come out that I've really liked a lot. I think Rachaad White is special. If in the right spot, and he is, that's what we kept saying all offseason. If in the right spot, we're going to love him. He's in the right spot. He's in the right spot. And I think he's going to ball out. Brian's mad he didn't get Fournette in the Cup League. I wouldn't be mad. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. All right, guys. I appreciate all of you. We've been live for an hour and 45 minutes today. Good show. Monday through Friday, I'm live 7 p.m. Eastern every single Monday through Friday. Your boy Smitty is here for you. I work for you, and I go live whenever there's breaking news. Today was an exception. Today, I knew the moment I stepped out of the studio for about a 2 or 3 hour period, it takes care of some meetings and things for the show. I'm trying to organize a few sponsorship and affiliate advertising stuff. I stepped out for about a 2 to 3 hour period, and instantly Gronk retires, and there's more Watson news, and I'm like, you got to be kidding me. I'm sitting here on call all the time for this stuff, and I knew it was going to happen, but I'll be here tomorrow. We're doing an emergency live stream at noon Eastern tomorrow, a planned emergency live stream at noon Eastern tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific, doing the Throne Draft. We have the number 1 overall pick. We'll be voting on it. Get to thefantasyfootballshow.com for your one-on-one text advice, rankings, bold predictions, and to click on the underdog link. Get out of here. Thanks, Denny. Appreciate you. Denny, I appreciate you appreciating me. I'll look into that, man. Later, beard. Later, beard.
Until next time, Bubba. Catch you later, Bubba. Until next time, Bubba. Catch you later, Bubba.
Deuce, bro.
Until next time, Bubba. Catch you later, Bubba.
Deuce, bro.